Welcome back to MBC News. I'm Dusa Dragonesh, your anchor, and I have the whole team today. Hi guys. We're just now going to have a moment's silence for Tom Bosley. The unstoppable Apple Corporation posted a quarterly profit of $4.31 billion, which is an awful lot of pods, pads, phones and downloads. Such figures make Apple the second most profitable tech company in the US, behind Microsoft, but ahead of IBM. Although the profits were less than analysts were predicting. Apple CEO Steve Jobs is unlikely to be cutting out his breakfast lattes. However, he did take the opportunity to launch attacks on competitors such as Google and RIM, makers of the BlackBerry, presumably because of Google's Android operating system nudging ahead of Apple's, and because the BlackBerry continues to be a strong competitor for the iPhone, with a large number of Android-based tablets poised to go head-to-head with the iPad. Things will become a little more exciting for Apple in 2011. By the way, folks, there has been a contretemps on the net about one Reuters guy, I think, dissing the profits and saying it was lackluster, basically, and implying it was that, how much was it?
4.31 billion. That's a rather poor performance.
Yeah, it was disappointing. I hope to be that disappointed at Christmas.
Yeah, it is rather strange. Although the profits were somewhat great, the actual progress of sales of the iPad have not been as great as they were hoping, apparently. So, anyway, sorry?
It's because I haven't bought one yet.
Yeah, neither have I. Oh, I want one. Right, this week, the FBI announced some success in breaking up an organized crime ring that has stolen $165 million from health insurance companies. So 73 people have been charged with multiple healthcare fraud crimes, including members of an alleged Armenian American organized crime organization. The scammers set up bogus clinics and used electronic identity theft to pose as legitimate individuals. The scam came to light after social security numbers and birth dates of 2,900 Medicare patients in upstate New York were, well, reported stolen.
And a caution, a word of warning for those internet porn lovers who watch NBC, and we know you're out there. If you've recently downloaded an illegal copy of Miss Big Ass Brazil number 4, you could be about to receive a summons to court. The US-based porn company, Third World Media, has filed a lawsuit against 1,500 unnamed individuals, unnamed of course for obvious reasons, who have been illegally downloading their artistic endeavors. Now, according to the company's attorneys, I quote, "Each of the defendants' acts of infringement have been willful, intentional, and in disregard of the rights of the plaintiff," unquote. Now, Third World Media, whose catalogue of art includes such legendary offerings as Backdoor to Bangkok, Perverts of the Caribbean, and Trannies in Training, have been aggressively pursuing copyright infringement suits through a number of courts across the USA, which is a tactic that seeks to identify the courts which are more sympathetic to their claims. But some good news. Apparently downloaders of Naughty Euro Sluts and Little Asian Cheerleaders are so far in the clear.
Well, I've got something to add about that, actually, although I think, I was thinking to myself, what could I possibly have to do with that? But actually, I used to have a job, loosely.
We're dying to hear.
Yeah. Trying to find bootleg videos of any of the Russ Meyer movies. In the yearly round of musical chairs, the latest to move on is Ray Ozzie of Microsoft, who was the chief software architect, having replaced Mr. Gates himself. No small shoes, then. It looks like he isn't going to be replaced himself either. Well, not at the moment. Now, does this mean that Microsoft won't be developing software as it's lost its architect? We don't think that such a thing is likely. However, the indications are that before he leaves, Mr. Ozzy is going to be looking at Microsoft's entertainment investments. Now, what could that mean, we wonder?
Well, wish him luck. Some more from Microsoft as well. They have finally launched the tests of Office 365, a very strange, grandiose name there, which is their cloud-based system. And their plans are on a subscription basis. You'll be able to access Office programs without installing Office software, rivaling Google's apps programs. Just more move in the game called nah.
And now for these messages.
Do you want your own world? Do you want control over access? Do you want your brand on it? We can give that to you with spot-on 3D web worlds. Affordable and secure. Make it your 3D web with custom, DIY, or ready-made content. Ideal for universities, nonprofits, entrepreneurs and enterprises, and even pioneering individuals pushing the metaverse forward. Create your vision with spot-on 3D web worlds.
Mimi's Choice, first with fashion, fun and family.
And welcome back. And welcome back to Lisa Hermano with some scary stuff.
Hi there. As Halloween is approaching the grid, it's quickly filling up with all sorts of scary stuff. Event schedules are packed with Halloween hunts and mouths full of pumpkins. Yes, Halloween fever is certainly grid-wide this year. This week, MBC jumped on their broomsticks and went exploring the grid to find out what residents are doing to celebrate. As you can imagine, there are tons of wild and wonderful things, but these are a few that we came across. Horror Fest 2010, which is a horror-themed charity event showcasing the dark side of Second Life, held during the last 2 weeks of October through to the end of November, and it benefits the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. It has a great market and activities happening there all the time. Next, MBC visited the Mulberry Horror. This is a cursed town that takes you through a series of blood-curdling, horrific sights that are really terrifying and not for the light-hearted. As you desperately make your way through the dark, you have that sickening feeling that someone or something is following you. And finally, we headed off to the Chateau de Fantôme, an adventure created by the historic province town. This sim holds a once stately mansion that has fallen into despair, and the formerly elegant interior is now ravaged with murderous villains, the bloodthirsty undead, and other nasty surprises. This was the most definitely the scariest experience we came across. MBC colleagues were bitten by zombies, chased by axe-wielding madmen, and we even found Philip Linden in a coffin in the attic. An incredible place for those who like to be scared silly. So if you haven't already got those pumpkins out, it's time to get them out, hit the grid for some really great and truly frightening experiences.
Well, I don't intend to get my pumpkins out for anybody. So, okay, lads, what's happening in your worlds this week? Sigmund.
Well, my world this week is getting a little cooler over here in the US. For those who wanted to know the weather, it's starting to chill down ever so slightly, so we've got that. I'm getting ready for a trip out to Chicago. Not the best time of year for Chicago, because as I said, it gets really cold and it gets colder up there. So sometime next week I think I'll be away, but I will be here for the news before I go, so I'll be planning ahead and getting ready for that trip up to the Windy City.
Thank you. And what about you, Mal?
Well, being a fellow Brit, I do like talking about the weather too. It has been dark and wet and thoroughly miserable here today. Not as cold as it could have been. However, we are being threatened with wintry Arctic winds and even that dreaded S word in October. So I think we can put on a welcome for Sigmund when he reaches the shores in 3 weeks' time.
Oh, you shouldn't tell people that. There'll be a flurry of activity at the airports. Indeed. Well, the thing that's rocked my world...
The tanks out.
Yeah, well, the thing that's rocked my world is the possibility, I do say possibility, of a 3D Antony and Cleopatra, well, Cleopatra, with Angelina Jolie, and therefore one assumes Brad Pitt.
Oh, this is James Cameron again, isn't it? The Avatar guy. Yeah.
So, I'm not sure whether he's thinking 3D animation, but if it is, we've got something to show him.
Oh.
Anyway.
It's 3D and it's Angelina Jolie. I will be there on the front seat. That's all I'm saying.
3DD. Right. I think we've come to the end of our news for this evening. It's all descending into horrific laughter and ice cream parlours by the look of it. So, would you like to say goodnight, folks?
Good night, and we'll see you next week.
And I'm trying to come up with a blood-curdling sound as I say good night.
Lisa? Lisa fainted. Okay, well, it's good night from us as well, and go scare yourself silly at those addresses. Take care, folks, from MBC News.